obviously it's going to be the road to 20K once again, and we're on like episode 9 now, which is pretty cool. It's pretty decent. That I've been keeping up with this as consistently as I possibly can. I'm a little late today, but better late than never. We get right into it without wasting any time. Starting off with Robinhood. So we're at $3,503.54. From what I can see, that's down from last week. Not too bad. We're just holding it out. End of year. This is going to be hopefully something good. It's only two stocks, and they are fairly small cap company. We move over to my M1 Finance account. It is at $10,582.23. This actually hit $11,000 a couple days ago. I took a screenshot of it, but I thought that was cool because 10,000 is already the most I've already had in one account. I've never had more than that anywhere else, so that was pretty cool. But then it hit 11,000, so thought that was pretty nice. And yeah, we move over to Betterment. We're at 2161.59 cents. The overall goal with this 401k, because I'm no longer contributing to it, is to be able to take it out and invest in myself. I'm a big proponent of trying to get the match if you're going to, if your company offers that. But if it's not really a high paying position, like you still want to at least get the match. But I have other priorities right now. So the goal is going to be to take this out whenever I can. We can move over to Fidelity, which we're actually down by. It's at 181.55 cents. These are primarily penny stocks that I think that one day they have like a sliver of possibility of becoming something. So that's why this one is a lot smaller than the other accounts, because those are more established companies and these are not. And then we can move over to Start Engine. This is just a crowdfunding for a social media app that this CEO came up with as a sort of competition to things like TikTok and all these other different platforms. So this is not liquid. This stays put and hopefully grows. So now we can move over to Coinbase. We're at 824.25 cents, which is up from last week. That's good. We were in the trenches last week. It's starting to climb up a little bit, which is great. We've even seen 900 a couple days ago. So, and this is all in XRP, so it climbs up and down. But this ties into what I'm going to talk about later in the video. Move over to Uphold, which is all in the coin XDC. I think this is my first time saying that one on about Uphold, but it's in XDC, and it's at $66.70, like a dollar up from last week. So a win is a win, a gain is a gain. Take it. And the total for this week is at $17,946.16, which brings us up roughly almost $300, around $200 from last week. So that's great. Moving over to the lesson for this week, obviously as it's titled, because I always try to give the lesson in the title of the video, is that progress is not linear. And I actually have a drawing to go along with that I'm going to show you guys later on. Some things came up in life, as they always do. You have to anticipate that, because if you don't, you will be surprised. You will be caught with your, depending on where you're from, with your in your hand. But what's a more like professional way of saying that? You be caught with your pants down. It's not really professional, but you get what I'm trying to say. You get blindsided a lot by life, and we cannot predict when these things happen. All we know is that they will, and the less prepared you are, the more it hurts. That's the only thing that we know can happen. Not if something is going to happen, we know it's going to happen, so we say when. Well, there's a life event that took place that's going to be to the tune of about $900 or so. So luckily, I have the crypto. So the question becomes like, do I liquidate my XRP? Which is why I said on that specific account, that one's going to be affected, and we're going to talk about it later on. I'm thinking about liquidating that because obviously crypto is crypto. The point of being invested in crypto was to not get like a moonshot and make a bajillion dollars off of it. So it will be taken out. So it's going to be deducted from my overall for next week whenever I do my next road to 20K. And it just kind of wants to talk about how progress is not linear. You're not always going to have this straight line where you do the same things and you can find averages because everything is consistently repeating. That's just not the case in real life with anything, really. Real learning moment for me, and also a point where I could consider something in the future. I might need to start actually designating some money toward an emergency fund, an actual emergency fund where I don't have to liquidate anything, even though it was just crypto, and I'm not losing any sleep about it. because as we know, those create taxable events, and there's just more implications to selling things as opposed to have money or cash on standby that's liquid. So this is just a great representation of what I mean by progress is not linear. So we can think about this in terms of four different quarters. Let me come from the top here. This is Q1, this is Q2, Q3, and Q4. So quarter one of this year might start off here. This is kind of where we started off. It could be something like this is where you cross your first 10K, right? And in Q2, so 3 months later, you kind of find yourself in a little bit better of a position. You've grown it to 15K somehow, some way, right? But the way that life works, sometimes you regress, even if you're in an uptrend. And this might fall to 9K. But you continue to apply yourself. You continue to add. You didn't stop dollar cost averaging. You didn't stop studying. You didn't stop working out, even though you regressed. The way that life works, a lot of times, is that by Q4, when it's all said and done, this is like end of year, right? EOY, you could have 25K. So 2 cupfuls. And I did a little graph here to kind of represent this. You start out at this sort of middle range. You spike a little bit, you might regress, but this is almost always what ends up happening if you just continue. So right here is where you kind of got to focus and not give up, is that point when you're in that valley so you can go to that next peak. So I hope this helps.